So I'm going to continue on here. I had ran out of space in my phone. So, yeah, I'm going to keep talking about my ayahuasca experience and my journey into the afterlife. That's where I went. That was my journey. And I've been describing some things I've seen, and so I'm going to try to pick it up where I left off. I had watched these guys, part of their soul thing in the afterlife. They were building this boat, and the second it would be done, it would reset. I saw different things like that, and one thing I saw that was disturbing, and like, okay, it showed me a sacrifice, like a human sacrifice in the ancient times. However, it wasn't what we think. Like, it wasn't like a murder. What was happening was, or what I saw was, in this case, I remember it was a woman, a priestess of some sort, and they're used to that world. Like, they travel in ayahuasca all into the spirit realm. Like, they knew that world, and it was just a permanent way of going. That's it. She was just going permanently. That was what the and it had other meanings that I didn't understand. But as far as the death part, it was just, she was just going back home. And like I said, when the second I got to this place, like, I don't know if I mentioned it in the last video, but I'll tell you right now, it was as soon as I got there, I knew I had been there. I don't know how many times, but many, maybe thousands. It was so familiar once you get there, and you're like, ah, I remember. It's death. And one kind of cool thing that happened also was, in this city, it was kind of like Venice in a sense, like the roads, like there was water roads, and there was this one where the boat was stuck like sideways in the street, and so it was stuck, and without any prejudice at all. I don't know what it was, but it started taking away at the concrete or whatever, or whip around the edges of the boat so that the boat would dislodge. But at the same time, I'm feeling that same tick going on in my arm. And whatever this place I was is within me also. So it's like that whole, as above, so below, or like everything that's out in the universe is also in me somehow. Like, I don't know. I can't explain it. I just know that, like, there was a correlation between this boat being dislodged and I had a blockage in my arm. That's the best I can explain it. And that was interesting. And let's see, what else did I experience? Oh, then the big one. Okay, listen. The whole time I'm there, way off in the distance, I can see this paradise. A beautiful paradise. And now it told me, okay, we'll take you there. Like, that's heaven. Like, or what people perceive as heaven. And it could bring me, it could show me, but I couldn't exist there somehow. Like, my heart hasn't gone through the transformation needed to exist in that place, because the souls that go there, no, they don't need to reincarnate back to this plane. Their heart has gone through a transformation. And you hear the Buddhists talking about it, you hear everybody. I've met people. My aunt was a nun, and I mean, she was a really special person. She just had complete love in her heart. So I imagine somebody like that would be somebody who just, they don't need that. They've understood that love is, well, I'm getting to that actually. That's the next thing I'm going to talk about, because it brought me to heaven, but I could still feel my heart, and my heart was heavy. That's the only thing I could feel actually, but it was my heart. There's no body as far as I can remember. And I think I was just spirit, and it was like this clean, fresh feeling, like nothing I've ever experienced. And when I've tried to explain, the only thing that comes close is like really cold, good water from the earth, which is where I'm going right now, because I'm going to go fill up. I don't drink city water, even though here in Moncton, where I live, we don't have fluoride in the water, but there's still chlorine and every other, you know. So I like water in my water, and that's it. No, I don't remember being signed up for forced medication. Anyway, so yeah, this was my experience. So now I'm in heaven. It's showing me this beautiful place. That's like what you would think. Like, it's just a gorgeous place full of nature and everything. But then it shows me, this is, I think, the big epiphany. It was the big lesson. Like, I'm watching the sun, which was being represented as a father, and the energy, the creative energy of the universe is love. It's just like electricity, man. Like, it's a real tangible force, and the sun's energy is feeding the earth, which was represented as the mother. Actually, I was watching Ayahuasca dancing in the sunlight and exuding nature, like birds and with so much love, like just unconditional, an incredible feeling, just wow. And I realized that everything alive on earth is an expression of this union, of the sun's energy. It's an expression of the sun's energy through earth. It feeds the earth, and so everything that's alive is an expression of the sun's energy in this world. And then it told me it was proud of me, that the universe was proud of me, because I hadn't let myself sour, and I've been through a thing or two in my life. Yeah, I was just, just like anybody else, I had a lot of, anyway. But it was proud of me because I hadn't let myself sour. I live by a code that I decided to live honorably as much as I could possibly. Like, I don't lie, I don't cheat, I don't steal, and I certainly don't relish in taking from others and pushing them down. Like, I've seen so much. I mean, I work in the television industry, and I mean, if there's a psychotic industry, this is it, and there's plenty of great, talented, creative people, but for every one of those, there's just as many who are just exploiters of these good, creative people. That's their game, is just taking from you. And it's happened to me. It happened to me recently. I directed an entire film, and other people took credit for that. And I did the impossible. I mean, I shot it, directed it, all of it. And I learned the hard way that you do the job of 5 people, because you're capable of doing that, there's going to be 4 people that are going to take that credit. Anyhow, yeah. I wish they had told me that in the pamphlet when I decided to become a filmmaker, but I do love making films, and it's definitely what I was put here to do. That was pretty much the conclusion, though. At that point of my journey, that was the conclusion. Was it showed me this and how that works, and then it told me what would happen, and it showed me that it was proud of me. And I'll remember there was this image of me holding my son in front of a mountain. It was just, like I said, there's some of it you just can't explain. But that was the message, and it told me that I would do it at least 2 more times, and the next time it would show me how I think it was going to elaborate more on that whole thing it showed me with the sun and everything. And then the time after that, it's going to show me how the universe works. But it told me also not to bother doing it anymore while I was in Peru, because didn't have nothing else to show me. It had showed me everything I was ready to see. So I start coming out of the experience, and oh my God, I remember the candlelight being so bright, because a lot of them had already come out of their experience. I think I was one of the last. I think there was one other person maybe that stayed in longer than me. And who was a professor of pharmacology from France, by the way. That was interesting. This guy, he understood this stuff on a molecular level, but also he couldn't deny the spiritual aspect to it. That was, wow. I had some good talks with him. Being able to speak French, that was kind of, an asset for that. And there was also a really cool girl from France. Oh yeah, I think I mentioned that. So here we are. I'm coming out of the experience, and the lights are very bright in this, in the hut. And I sit up, and it kind of feels like acid at this point. Like if you've ever done acid, there's flutters, and your mind is not quite on this level yet, like on regular, normal, everyday level. So here's what I set up, and I'm kind of, and I feel this big thing run up my back, up to my shoulder, and I yelled like, like there's a big tarantula, like, and somebody yelled shaman, and he knew. He came right over right away, and he replaced what I thought was the trend with his hand, and he started telling me to give it to him. He's telling me in Spanish, but I understood. He was saying yarenga, give it to me, more or less. And this here, so I did. And then he tells me to go back into that world. Go back and stay there, and let me do my work. I'm going to get this thing out of you. So I go back into that world, and I can see everything. And but they're like, yeah, man, like you can hang out, but you don't have to go home. But we got nothing more to show you. That's it. So, and in that place, I could see the shaman telling this spider, who wasn't evil. It was massive in that place, though. Like it was like a big giant spider, and he's telling it to leave because it's hurting me. And I think it was a generational thing. Now, it's worth mentioning that my father died at 45 from his 5th heart attack. And his father died, I think, around the same age. He got struck by lightning and died that night of a heart attack. There seems to be some kind of, I'm 42 now. And, So, and then I would peek out, I could still open my eyes and still be back in that way, and I would see the shaman over me with the tobacco working on me in this world, and then I go back in there, and so what it turns out, what I understood was it was actually that this spider loved me, but was feeding on my heart, and it was killing me, and I had been a smoker since I was 14, and at this point I had stopped smoking for a couple of years, and through the laser treatment, by the way, if anybody's interested in that, I have made videos on it and stuff, because I was amazed. 25 years of smoking, I woke up to smoke and stuff, I was a smoker, and so anyway, I took it to have something to do with that, with the smoking, and it had kind of, I remember that now, because it kind of told me that I had cheated my addiction. Because when you do the laser, what it does, you don't have any cravings. That's the thing. You wait for that craving, and it never ever comes back. And that's, to me, was amazing. Now, so finally he gets this thing out of me, and it kept sneaking back in. Like, he'd get it out of me and it'd sneak back in, and oh man, it was a thing. But it was like an exorcism that he did on me. And then he takes my bucket. Actually, the three of us that purged. He took all of our buckets. Now I'm out of it. Now I'm back. And he goes outside with it for about an hour, and he does some kind, like, you can hear him chanting over it and calling it. I really like this shaman. Like, he was a real genuine guy, man. And yeah, for a good hour. And then then we all slept. The next day you get up, and the shaman brings you down to this little stream, and he dumps water over you naked. You're naked, not him, but it's a little, it's a little weird. But that water was really cold. But man, the next day is really an experience of its own, because you see everything with different eyes. Like, even though I'm aware of the banking schemes, and like, I'm awake. I'm awake. I know I do a lot of research, and I got a pretty good idea of what's going on. And you just see it. You just see it. Like, that they have cut us off from our birthright, our divine right to access this place, and to understand that death is not the end, and to understand the unity that we are all one. And that was like all through the experience. Like, we're all one. We're the universe experiencing itself through all living life. The best way I can understand it. I can say it. And it was life-changing. Unfortunately, you're back in this world. I mean, it doesn't change the world. It changes you in the world, but it doesn't change the world. I don't wake up every day light and puffy and yay. No, life's still hard. And I often joke that I'm much more afraid of life now than I am death. Now, as far as hell and all that, it didn't give me, I don't know anything about that. It didn't show me anything. The closest thing I saw to that was just all these souls that were stuck. And one of them, when I had asked to see my father, who I miss quite a bit. I mean, he died, I was 15 years old. And they said, you can, but you may not want to. And I decided not to. Because I think he's stuck. I think, a lot of what killed him may have been some of the decisions he made and the guilt of it. However, it was a tremendous experience. It was nothing on earth could have possibly ever prepared me for that. Like, it was bigger than life. Like, as amazing as this place is, it was bigger. It was just the understanding that you're a part of something that's so far beyond anything we experience here, or at least what I do. I'm sure there's special people out there who are still connected, even when they're born. They connected all their lives to this place, and they teach us. They come to remind us in life that, hey, this isn't it. This is a very small part of it, very small. But like I said, this is the world that we need, that evolves the souls the quickest because of your free choice within it. It's either that's just the way a soul doesn't really evolve in that space from what I saw. Like, it's not the same thing. So that's my ayahuasca experience, and And this one's going out to my buddy, the Surf Yogi in California, because he seemed to be pretty interested in this, so good reason why I made this video here. And you can find him on Steemit. He's a really cool guy. He's got high reputation points and everything, and yeah. And you can find me on Steemit, if ever you, steemit.com. If ever you run across this video on YouTube, you should sign up to steemit.com. It's a social media built on blockchain technology. It works very well, and you get paid. You get paid to post, or just for liking other people's stuff. Like it's a blockchain is going to change the world, and I am jumping on board as hard as I can, because I can't wait. I can't wait to get up. I can't wait for the decentralization of all these things, like that are these people that are sucking the life energy out of us. I mean, they've tricked us into trading our lives for money instead of working at what we're good at, our talent, and adding to the world, which is, I think, what we're all supposed to do. Is explore our talents, and that's what life's about. Definitely not working your hole off for some arsehole who's, probably making a lot more money than you. Like, it's just, this isn't the world we're supposed to be living in. And that was the big lesson. This is not the world. This has been contrived. We're divided. We're kept divided so they can lend us their funny money, created at interest, but the interest, you're boring it at interest, but the interest is never created. It's musical chairs, man. There's never enough to go back, and then since the only value the money had was your promise to pay it back, which is essentially, trading your life energy for cash. So if anybody'd like to hear more about the ayahuasca experience, I was on a radio show twice about this. It's called X Zone Radio. You can just Google my name, Chris Harrigan, and you'll likely run into it. And but I think I talked about mainly the main stuff. And if you would want to see Trippin' with Lee, which is the film that this was done on and that I directed and shot, regardless of the credits. Anyway, I don't mean to be bitter, but that was a really anyway, go check it out. You get to see some of the experiences. And the Yopo, that was insane. Yopo is another DMT based thing. Okay, but it's a different spirit. It's like a grandfather spirit. There's a lot of purples and silver. Apparently, I didn't do it. Where ayahuasca is a lot of gold and green, a lot of those kind of colors. And the cameraman went through it, and I swear to God, it's worth watching. Just to watch this guy rolling around on the jungle floor, freaking out. It is quite a thing. And as far as I know, it's the only Yopo footage in existence. I saw one, a German lady did some, and it just gave her a headache. It was really not much to watch. But to actually watch somebody in the jungle go through this is the only time that's ever been done, as far as I know. And we also shot the ayahuasca. When I say we, I mean yeah, but in candlelight, which is rare. You don't see that kind of footage generally, because ayahuasca is done in the dark. And in fact, the shaman, the second shaman, the one that I went to, he wouldn't allow filming. So we missed some things that would have been good to have on film just because of that. That was a lousy decision on the part of our host, who decided that that's where he was going to go. And I think it was more about chasing tail. Anyway, that's my story. And if you enjoy it, I think everybody in the world who's ready for this, I mean, really, it would be a shame to go through life and not experience that, I think. And I'm so glad I did. And although I'm a little bit scared of doing it again, I definitely will, because it's hard work. It's not, this isn't something you'd ever do at a party. No. This is, you need to be ready psychologically, because once you're in, you're in. And but she's gentle. La plante est pas méchante. Translated meaning the plant is not evil. She's nice. So I hope you all enjoyed this, and this is Chris Harrigan out. Bye.